Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That is me, the babbler. That is me on this revolutionary rise of enterprise at this time. And so I took some time to press record. I've been here like staring at myself, trying not to let the little camera dim the light and go night night, and keep pressing it to stay on, you see. And I took a little long time because there was a lot of stuff like just processing and going through me, because there's a lot of things that I'm just like, you see me? Yeah. So the cards that I'm drawn to use for this particular channel tune, whatever it is that I am going to freestyle and do, is the Whispers of Healing Oracle cards. Because there's a lot of healing happening at this time, whether we are conscious of it or not. But if you're tuning into the channel, you're more likely to be a little bit more conscious than not. But still doesn't mean that, you know, your own progress is being captured in the lens of scope that it needs to be captured in for yourself. You see, you might be, you know, on to things and awakening to things and hip to things and other things, external things and all these things, and maybe you need to sleep. Or, you know, it's been intensifying too, our dreams. 3, 4, 5, change. I feel like there was something like made like completely activate, because even my dreams have been potent, a little bit more so than usual. Like, you know, and getting the rest that you need at this time. If you're, you know, maybe you are on all-time high on some active drive and just doing a lot of things at this time, rest is okay. To get into that stillness, be mindful of sleep and how lucid and how much more of a participant you can be in that state of conscious, deep REM, alert, of just observe. When you let go and sleep, you do so, but aware you sure are. Learn the language of your sleep when you dream. Do you hear things more? See things more? Are you participating in any kind of the atmosphere that you are traveling on more? Are you observing more? Are you a participant? You know, like there's so many different octaves of engagement that we enact in our dreams that, you know, think about it too after we're not asleep, clearly. Like, you know, to, hey, I'm hearing this right now. Hey, I'm seeing this right now. Hey, I'm talking this. Like, you know, there's so many different engagements in our sleep that happen. You can be having conversations with people. Always. So much happens when we sleep. The conversations, they be deep. You know what I mean? Right, so, unconditional love. 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. Unconditional love. Admiration. Appreciation. Inspiration. Liberation. Intoxication. Unconditional love. It's beautiful. Continuing to love someone, no matter what, may be difficult. However, love is always worthwhile. You are made up of love, 100%. This is the truth of your very being. No matter how upset you are, how much you beat yourself up, or unknowingly hurt other people, you will always have love residing in you. Your heart is seeking love at every second of your life. Loving unconditionally means giving love without expectation. Being and giving the love you want to experience in your relationships can be the hardest lesson of life. A big part of unconditional love is forgiveness. You limit your ability to achieve unconditional love when you blame someone for a past wrong or rehash past sufferings. Beating yourself up and blaming your sadness on the past only triggers more distress in your life. You have a purpose in life and you have a choice. You can let the past haunt you and inflict more suffering in your life, or you can forgive yourself and get back to living your purpose. Two fairies depict this message. One fairy has her hands over her heart as if she is receiving love. The other fairy is openly expressing love to her friend. The rainbow hues symbolize magical blessings. Rainbows remind us of the benefits that come from hoping and believing that unconditional love heals all things. There is so much love being shown to you every day. Unconditional love is your greatest challenge and your greatest joy. Which is beautiful. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, although these messages are timeless, okay? There's a lot of things energetically influencing our environment and our experiences, and it's going to be different for each of us. But if there's one thing energetically in common about what's happening during this time, is the energies that are coming to life, especially with this Mercury retrograde type vibe that is influencing the vines because they believe it's so. So even if it weren't to be true and this was just something, you know, indoctrinated to make us believe that, you know, something is real and, you know, they fall for it or some kind of thing, it doesn't matter. It's still something that was created in energy and therefore exists and therefore has followings of believers of its existence, and so therefore it exists regardless. Like, we can argue semantics about this whole entire thing, but that's not the swing of things of how I'm going to get into things to explain things. But this is part of my babbling spree. So you know, just listen deep, you know what I'm saying? So like, there are energies that are heavily influencing this environment of ours, and a lot of it comes with bringing reassessment, bringing anything that has been left unresolved, that is strong, in need of justice, to the surface. And of course, that's going to be different for everybody. But as we know, energetically, these seeds that are sown through our planetary influencers of this 3D earthly plane of existence, right? Okay, conscious, let's get with this, but like, still, this is an influence, okay? Objective in every kind of way, observant, okay, I see. But, you know, participants are we, for sure, believe. And if you think that you are exempt from these kind of lessons and learnings that are happening at this time, ooh, you got a big wake up on this life to think that you have been exempt from learning anything too, that you are high up here and that there's nothing in it for you to receive because you write about everything. Unconditional love, but it's like you free with that arrogance, you see, because there's a lot more things to understand on that kind of leveling of command to just sit there and proclaim that you got everything and you know the entire way. Like, this is the Discovery Channel, okay? And so, yeah, that kind of thing. And okay, so take care of it.
You want?
So,
I'm gonna get something and I'm gonna order it.
Well, if you know that there's something that I'm going to want, then you just make the... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Alright, go. I'll just eat your food.
No! It's from middle.
Okay, goodbye. I'm saying you forget it. No. Jeez. Louise, no edits in this, please. Unconditional love is the way. Peace in every kind of way. Go away. Okay, so it's revealing to the, it's revealing you would think she was 4. But no, that's not true. So, okay, so getting back into, you know, being unapologetically me and edit free, because listen, that's how it's gonna be. Like, life has no edits, okay? Like, let's get into that sway of understanding these kind of things. I can do whatever, and maybe if I knew how to, maybe if I learned how to, and I'm sure that I'm more than capable to, but that's not for me. So, yeah, anyways, so there's a lot of things that, regardless of whatever it is that we believe, it's happening anyways. And so with that being known and that being clearly shown all around on these 3D, like, you know, planes, the emotional realm that has laid dormant, you see, down, down, down in the well, so deep away, even hidden from the person or the vessel or the operator, the presenter of this being didn't even see, because that's how hidden well in the denials. I don't be going into the denials, and trust me, I've had plenty of my denials to get through, and I have to get through that too, and that is a purge in itself, to have to hold yourself and be accountable for whatever it is that is presenting itself at this time. And it's just like, what's happening here? And it's just like, and so, you know, it's tough, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff, and everyone's in a different place of experience of having to observe and just experience whatever this is bringing up, but not to get stuck, even if it's tough. Not to beat yourself up about, oh, you know, how when people be like, oh, karma, what goes around comes around. That's why I'm excited for this now, because okay. Every time we come back, I'm excited yet. Alright. You know, that's a different space of a place to be, and, you know, but for those that are experiencing, you know, the trigger part of these things, I'm not exempt from those kind of things. I'm not saying that either. Like, in my excitement of what I'm speaking of just like in karma in general, like, you reap what you sow. Okay. I know what I sow, so okay. But, you know, to be in that certain kind of place, like, I've come a long way. But it doesn't mean that there isn't things that, like, oh, I'm all, like, not still having things to learn. So I have triggers to burn through too that come up in different ways. Like, you know, it may not be in the same trauma type real problematic state, thankfully. No more than me. Okay. Let me see. Alrighty. You know, even if there's triggers that are challenges to face. It's all fear-based, control-based, denial space. Number 9, triggers. And, you know, think about peace. Like, for me, like, I want peace. Personally. I don't know about you, but I want peace. That, having that requires huge level of owning your shit. Truth. in principle, just for you. Oh, my mouth is dry. I've been talking a lot. That part of the astrological influences that are occurring at this time, like chatterbox time, because that is what's happening. But okay, so I record, chat some more, babble some more. But like, yeah, so these opening doors of the quest for truth, that if you are still living in this state of denial or cover up or mask or facade, guess what's happening around town? Triggers profound. Like, the energy now of all these trined planets too. I don't really follow all of that, but I'm just speaking, flowing, whatever, growing, you know. These harmonious planetary, like, influencing, that's influencing like our energies now, that goes outside the constructive system that already exists, because there has been evolution to this. So now with this harmonious trine and all the information and knowledge that exists in our lives, and the people that are like awake and doing their own stuff from wherever they are, like, that contribution by far, you know, like, we humans on that kind of level can't conceive, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening, you know. We're expansive in that kind of way, but to understand that, you know, it happens like this no matter what it is or where it is that we see or not see on, like, I don't know, like, you know, it's just, it's so simple, but it's so complex at the same time, right? But yeah, like, the triggers are your friends. The triggers are your friends, and it's okay. With unconditional love, and what do you want? Like, for me, when I say this is only my example I can give, I want peace. Does this give me peace? What gives me peace when these triggers are coming up to be released? Okay, well, now truth, honesty speaks. What's happening here? Let me detach, my dears, so that I can find the mind, body, heart, and soul solution that's going to rid me of all this toxicity, this pollution. Let me end this cycle now, because if not, the trigger's going to just keep coming up somehow, you know? Some other way, some other face, some other day, some other plane, some other life. That's not right. Triggers. The occurrences or circumstances in your life may affect you on a deep level and be stored in your memory as wounds or triggers. Your ego can become defensive due to the emotional wounds you carry with you. Once a wrongdoing has happened in your life, it cannot be undone, but you choose how to handle the outcome. There is no single situation you cannot overcome. You can detach from the triggers, but you must have the will and desire to do so. Authentic healing means accepting past trauma, sadness, depression, and disappointments. From here, you can choose to accept responsibility for your emotions and your triggers. When you neutralize the stories from your past, they lose their grip on your present happiness. Holding on to pain limits your ability to live life to the fullest. It is time to disconnect the switch and stop allowing a past situation to control your current actions. The bubbles in this image represent memories and stories from the past. Once they no longer have energy or trigger you, they will pop and disappear. The sun rises on the horizon, reminding you that you have a new day in which to create anything you want. The warmth of the sun supplies extra love to you. The ocean and rivers bring flow, gentleness, and friendship to help you release what no longer serves you. You are being challenged to live in this moment. So you live in this moment with all that you have grown and learned up until now. And this is the moment, that's what I'm saying about the incubation period, that you have now, that is Shavasana style, that's asking you to infuse these medicines, these elixirs, this knowledge of energy, this energy of knowledge, this energy of knowledge that is alchemically what you need to get through and pop these things that no longer need to be. Like, being hard on yourself, you see, too. Like, or stuck and not, even when you're stuck, you're not stuck. Even when you're stuck, you're not stuck. It's all a matter of perception. Oh, I'm gonna thank you. And well-being. It's about your well-being. Yeah, it's about you and your well-being. And how you deserve to be all good. And if there are some challenges you have to face due to maybe some past actions you cannot erase, then you have every opportunity right now to make amends and do what's right that brings you the peace of mind, body, heart, and soul that you deserve to have. You know, so many things tie into denial, like illness too, or just illness of the mind, and how that can rob us from living life and feeling aligned or bright, sad inside, like not right because there are things that are not right that have not been, you know, felt or dealt with. You're responsible for your well-being, and you're growing into your knowing, and you're evolving, and it's showing. And so change is imminent. It truly is. And it's for your well-being. And it may not match the previous life that you have grown to know. But that's only the trappings of one's mind to limit themselves to only one particular time. When you are discovering and exploring and having the time of your life by awakening to everything that is you, that can be wholesome too, balanced, infused, to have it all too when it's appropriate and divinely orchestrated for you when you want it too. When you want it, you want it. There's no timestamp on these things. You know? Do you know? Alright, this is getting... Alright, unconditional love again. Did I read unconditional love? Yes, I did. I did. But you know, just even that whole sentiment of unconditional love, like what is unconditional love? Is acceptance. Like, reawakening. Reawaken. You know, not everything has to be a repetition of how you once experienced it before. Like, reawaken to there being something so much more to explore, to discover, to uncover, to recover, to experience, to create in the way that you would want it to be in. Reawakening to the truest parts of you that feel vibrant and curious about your own life. Where's Alice? Where's Alice? That was a sign. You know, so like that reawakening to that childlike wonder of enthusiasm for it all, and not like suffering from previous falls or perceptions or experiences that no longer exist. I'm gonna read Reawaken and then we're gonna stop because it's already 25 minutes. Reawakens. Number 7. Siete. Número 7. I don't speak Spanish, although I look like I do. You have been suppressing a part of yourself. There we go. This card is granting you the opportunity to heal self-judgment or embrace any hidden aspects of your nature. The primary relationship you have with yourself was formed in infancy. Your relationship with your present self developed on that foundation and adjusted based on experience and observation of the wider world. Become aware of your inner child. Be willing to consciously communicate with the child that is within you. Listen to how your inner child feels. It is imperative to realize that others cannot meet your unfulfilled needs. Take responsibility for your happiness. It is up to you to satisfy your heart's desire. Work on healing any buried hurts you have been carrying with you. You may be unaware of where your emotional pain stems from. This is a gentle prompt for you to determine the cause of your pain. If necessary, seek support in getting to the root of your issues. A ray of sunlight on a resting fairy highlights the importance of inner healing. The wings of a fairy usually stand for liberation or freedom. The daisies that surround the fairy represent purity and innocence. This imagery is addressing the innocence that lies within you. The spiderweb in the foreground is symbolic of the choices you are making and the network of support available to you. Trust that deep healing is possible. You will be able to move on from this place once you let go of your hidden hurt. Okay? And just knowing, too, that as you align with your own purpose and your own truth, you find yourselves connecting with beautiful souls that just awaken you even further, making you feel whole, and it feels right. Like, the discernment of being able to know this person, I feel their soul, I feel their heart. This feels good. To trust in that too and have that level of support, even if it's minimal and you want like billions of supporters. I don't freaking know, but like I am sensitive to energy. Like too many people surrounding me, I get claustrophobic. I'm like, I need air. I've gotten better with that though. Yeah, I have. It's not so much anxiety like flow, because no, I'm getting into my no. So when you get into your no, like, you grow, and that's just natural. And just being honest, I just hear be honest with yourself, say it out loud, write it on a piece of paper, look at it, read it out loud, and repeat it back until you can get it, laugh at it, like stop, like, be the comfort that your little self needed when nobody gave it to you and you didn't receive it, and you just couldn't believe it. You were like, nobody loves me. I used to sing this song. I think about this always. I probably talked about this before. I used to sing a song on the top of my stairs in my house that I grew up in growing up, and my family would walk by and some would chuckle, some would laugh, some would ignore. Most of the time I got ignored because I guess I did it a lot. Theatrical was me. Okay, granted. Dramatic. I've been told that before. That's not the first time, right? Okay, expressive. How about that? Okay, right. So it's just singing the top of the stairs, loud, soprano, one voice. We're here. This song that I wrote, the Nobody Loves Me song. And it's loud. I've gotten told to be quiet a lot of times, but when I think about it, I thought about it from a different paradigm of perspective. Because we grow in our healing, because sometimes it takes different peeling backs of layers to reveal to you the sentiment behind what it is that you still need to see, because there's so many multi-dimensional layers of things. So you might think you heal from one thing, and then later on an epiphany profound comes around, and it's just like it further enhances the know that you thought you knew at that time, and making it more expansive too. And you're just like, whoa, mind blown. Psh, oh, okay, poof, that kind of thing. And so I had it, and I was just like all that little girl needed to receive was love. And no one ever stopped to question what her cry of attention was for. Now, this is many children in our world. And then they grow up into their adult, having formed many behavioral patterns and conditionings in between all of their experiences, plus that freaking childhood traumatic experience. We may say, oh, don't be so dramatic. It wasn't so traumatic. It could have been a lot worse. What's worse than not feeling like you loved or even paid attention to, you know? So, you go to these roots of these kind of things. And it's not easy. It's a challenge because sometimes you don't even see the different multi-dimensional layering until when it's meant for you to see, when you grow into that space to see that space and for what it is, And that's just how it is. So it's not easy, but you are reawakening to every part of yourself that's truth. And it's uncomfortable. And there's no rush. Your own space, your own pace, your own place. It's all about you. And that's fabulous too. And to know that as you continue to do, you will connect with those that are right in alignment with you, and you'll feel it too. And it'll feel right, and you'll trust in that, and you'll grow bright. And even if it's just in passing, you just, relationships become more harmonious. And you communicate like this, and to feel safe in your communications because there's no judgment, there's no facade, there's no mask on. Like, you already know how that feels. You've experienced that energy real, so you know how that feels. So discernment is surreal. Like, what do you mean I can't discern between that feel and that kind of feel? They're two different kind of feels, you know what I mean? So we're at that point, like, now you just feel it. Like, even if you don't understand it, you're like, oh, I feel a little off with that person, you trust it. Bye. Not try and then realize, oh, I should have said goodbye, like, or no, it's, it's just energy is energy. Stay keyed up in knowing what's up in that energetic field that goes unspoken many times, and just, trusting in those rhymes that come to you and tell you and align with you in truth. Like, you're reawakening. There's no, you don't have to be sorry or apologetic about it either. It's all about your vibration. Vibrations and frequencies. And anyone that's in your life, that may have been in your life all of your life, and even those kind of people in your life that you can't imagine life without them, you'll learn, even if you have a moment of separation. I learned this too. Hard. I thought losing my mother was one of the most difficult things. Losing someone else alive that you love so freaking much, that sucks too. You know what I'm saying? And then learning the discernment of that, of having lost, or appeared, this perception, losing people, then realizing I understand why that happened, and realizing and letting go of the release. But, there's like, hurts that you're just like, whoa, I can't believe. And then you see later on the molding of these things, and it's just like, wow, this is deep. So patience is needed. Trust in your feelings. Like, go to understand it too. Like, why do I still feel this way? Why is this coming up for me? What is it that I don't see? What part of me is healing so deep? Why can't I speak? Why can't I express? Why do I not understand what's happening? Like, what is this emotion? What is this what am I learning? What am I missing? All these different diving boards you can jump on and just like learn, so that you can vibrate in alchemy with yourself for your health, wealth, stealth, and just at least, even if challenges come to meet you, you're vibrating in such great alchemy and ingredients that there's no rocking your foundation and vibration. Even if you have to deal with something that's outside of your nation, you're your own vibration that you're entitled to be. You know, you don't have to be like everybody else. All right, 35 minutes in. Peace, my friends.